Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name's Trent, and today we're going to be tying a classic wet fly out of Ray Bergman's book Trout, and it's the #1 fly on the #1 plate, and that is the Abbey. Over time, I'm going to try and tie all the flies in that book. I know it's going to be a huge undertaking, but I enjoy tying, so I hope you sit back, enjoy yourself, and see how to tie some of these classic wet flies from really a bygone era. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and get our black thread out and put down a nice thread base. I'm going to wrap this back just to right where the barb of the hook is. Go ahead and clip off this excess. Excuse me. Stuff laying on my scissors. Go ahead and clip off that excess. First thing we're going to do is we're going to tie in a tag, and this is going to be some just silver mylar. So it's silver on one side and gold on the other. So as always, I want the silver to show, so I'm going to have the silver touch the shank of the hook, and I'll bind that down so I'm looking at gold. I'm just going to come down, tie it in a little bit, and move my thread, some wraps to move it up out of the way. So I'm going to do 3 wraps, so that's not a full wrap, so, or 2 wraps rather. So there's 1 wrap, and then here is the 2nd wrap, and then what I'm going to do is just back the thread up to that point and move it forward and tie in that mylar tinsel. So just clip that off. Some loose wraps real quick just to bind that down, get out of the way. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to tie in, this is small tinsel as well, and we're just going to come in up underneath it, and I want the silver to show again on this, so I'm going to tie it. Silver down, like so. That's, we want to put in our tail as well. So the tail is just some fibers from a golden pheasant, tippets. Just take mine, just kind of fold it in half to get my tail. Now I want this tail is going to be from just behind the end of the hook to where the bend starts. So that's the shank of the hook. So I'm going to go ahead and measure this. And sometimes a little hard to see because there is black tips on this. That's my measurement, so I'm just going to come in. Just kind of a pinch wrap, just holding it on top of the shank of the hook. And I'm adding all that extra material, I'm leaving that in, I'm tying that in, so I can have a little bit of bulk on the body of this wet fly. These weren't slender flies; they were tied with a little bit of bulk, almost a cigar shape. Tying. So come forward right there, and now I'm going to just tie in some red floss. This is just red Danville. It's actually a dark red Danville 4-strand floss. This is going to be a fishing fly, so I'm not going to spend the time or the money to put soap on here. Now I'm starting at the head, and I'm going to make touching wraps back to the junction where the tail meets the tag. Like so. And then one more wrap, and then we're going to come forward. It's important you keep it flat, don't let it cord up on you. Just trying to cord up on you a little bit. Keep it nice and flat as you go forward. This isn't the most entertaining portion of the tie, but tying these bodies in and getting that floss or that silk to lay just right is really important to the overall appearance of the fly when you're done. So put that off. Just go ahead and discard that little bit. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to rib this fly. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Rib. Now come around on the 6th just to get it tied off nice and tight. So when you're tying these old classic flies, there is a rule, there is a way to tie them, and 5 ribs, 4 to 5 ribs is customary. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is I've got this kind of a reddish brown hackle, and I'm going to just pull some barbels off and tie a throat in what is classically considered a beard. Not so much the a little bit of that length. So there is the throat, and I'm going to pull down on that as I go back, just to where my wing is going to get tied in as well. So the next thing we'll do is we're going to tie in a wing. So for the wing for this material, just using a Mallard flank feather, and this is called a bunch wing technique. So you strip the barbels off the side of the quill of the feather, and then you just get yourself a nice. Let me organize mine a little better. You get yourself a nice bunch of that material, that wing, that feather material for the wing. Now I want my wing to come back to right about where this black line is in the tail. It's about where I want my wing at. So when I do this, I'm going to make it just a little bit longer than I think I need it. And I'm going to clip the material. Okay, you see that movement? I need to get a little bit of wax on my line. Sorry about that, the blurriness. See, that wax will just helps everything catch and bite in. Makes it a little non-slick. pattern. And I'm going to go ahead and wood finish. And then hit the head with some classics, Sally Jansen's hard as nails. So if you have any questions or comments about the fly or about anything that I'm tying with or using, please don't hesitate to leave me a question or comment below. I always like to hear from folks. And if you have interest in the other fly patterns coming out of the Ray Bergman's book, Trout, man, that thing does not want to stay in focus. If you have any other questions about it, just let me know. Like I said in the intro, I'm going to try and tie them all. All right, thank you very much. And until next time, I'll see you around the vise.